From this experience, I realized that the most important thing is how to get the students interested to STEM instead of just preparing a set of teaching materials. Problem-solving skills are for both adults and students, and in the future, the knowledge and skills learned from the STEM activity might be able to use in daily life as a direction. In the beginning, I was being indifferent to children. As a professional and a well-educated college student, I determined to try my best to deliver the service and act as a coordinator in a group, starting with all the preparation, participation, and observation during the whole semester. The face-to-face classes had changed my mind since I found out that most of my students are being enthusiastic and were so willing to try to design a better product to elderly, which was extremely impressed. The service experience also provided the opportunity working as a teaching group, which is the best chance for college students to learn from each other, such as knowledge in the profession in science, teaching skills, and ways to get along with children. All these observations during service has made me more determined to be an even better role model, not only as a college student, but also apply the knowledge from STEM and to be an active volunteer within the
I think
community.
this course, this service learning experience changes me the way I value teenager nowadays and also myself, because I never consider myself as a teaching guy or as a person who's suitable for teaching, because I'm very impatient, and seems to be like this course has just proved me wrong, because I can handle kids and I can teach, and I can be patient to them. And I think teenager nowadays is not as naughty as I believe. So I think this course changes the way I value these 2 points. And and I think what I've learned is, I think communication skill is the most important thing to in order inside a team, because teamwork is important and communication is, we just, you, if you want teamwork, you just need communications. And I think what I've learned from this course is actually to work with other people, to communicate with other people, like just the new ways to communicate with other people, and how to communicate with my teammates or with the students, and how to chat with them, and that's it. And and to connect with my personal career and also my university major. And then I think as a designer, I have to constantly reviewing with my clients about the design, so I have to constantly chat with them and discuss with them and communicate with them. So that's why communication skill is so important for me. And also I'm currently working as a art dealer or art trading agent, and that's why communicating with my clients is also very important to me, because I have to sell them, I have to talk with them, like tell them what is about this artwork, why is so good, why is this artwork not good, or something like that. So communication skill is very important to me, and I have learned, I enhanced that in this experience.
Hello, I'm Kenny. This dance service has inspired me a lot on my life. Firstly, it reminds me the importance of discussion as an engineer. I'm a mechanical engineering student, and in the past, I only took few times and effort on having discussion with teammates about the product design, as most of my teammates refused to give their views, which was just wasting time. However, in this service, I found that secondary students could generate better ideas on their product design after discussing with their teammates, which improves mistakes from other ideas, and it inspired me the importance of discussion for teamwork and creating more excellent ideas. And its key point should be that a host to guide the flow of discussion. I will try to be that host to lead my teammates on design project in both my study and visual lives in order to achieve a better design to satisfy customer need. In personal, this service has gave me the chance to train my communication skills by teaching students. I'm shy and seldom talk to others, and it's unimaginable for me to teach those secondary students who are lively but a bit naughty and incorporate. Yet, I could actually talk confidently with them, and I learned to motivate and guide them to work by some techniques like chit chat and inquiry. and also understand that relationship building is important for communications, which could let others be more willing to listen to you. For example, it was difficult to listen to students' opinion in online session, but easier in face-to-face teaching, as we are more familiar with each other. Therefore, I will learn more practical skills about communication and relationships building for future communications.
From this service experience, what I learned is to collaborate with the others, because we need to work with our teammate and build up some teaching schedule and some materials for teaching the secondary school student, which I can turn it to future action. Is like when I'm getting a job, then I need to work with others, or like I need to collaborate with our college. So it seems like I will use it, or I will use it for the future job for collaborating and communication with and communicate with the others. So in some changing in myself is like where I learn, or I'm going to having more empathy, because when I'm teaching the secondary school student, I need to understand more about the student so that I may help them more, to know more about them, for helping the teaching to be more efficient. And like when I'm doing the service, it seems that I'm not teaching them, but I'm learning with them, like I'm standing by their self, which is a good experience for me. When they're building up something and learned something, it also make me feel enjoy and having happiness, because like when I'm contributing to them, I also learn something on themselves, like their creativities.
Hello everyone, my name is Aliyah and I would like to reflect on this service. I took this subject in the beginning of the year with the hope that I will go back to Hong Kong and the university will resume on-campus activities. Unfortunately, considering current pandemic situation, I was unable to come to Hong Kong and get a chance to teach the secondary school students in class and get to know them better. Because of that reason, my teaching experience was a bit different, unlike my other local group mates, and this experience was quite new for me because the entire service delivery was provided mainly in Cantonese, in using Zoom as software. Before this experience, I was a bit skeptical about online learning among secondary school students. However, this fruitful experience changed my mind completely. My main concern was the medium of instruction. Since I mentioned before the service was mainly delivered in Cantonese, I was a little bit worried about my classes and interactions with the children. I really thought that children were not prepared to learn in English and answer me in English. However, after the first Zoom session, I got to know the students much better and their behavior better. I established relationships with them, and I understood that I have to be patient and give a little bit more time to students to think and then take action. Even though I did not participate in the last two teaching sessions, and did not get a chance to see my students in real life, this wholesome experience left me really impressed. During it, I learned three main things that will definitely affect my future performance and ability to interact with children and adults. First of all, it's confidence, then respect to myself, my group mates, my students and teachers, and creative thinking. I'm really grateful for every opportunity that I'll be using my gained skills in future to foster better communication and interactions with people.
Hi, I'm Eric from SFXS Team B. In this surface learning subject, I had learned how to teach secondary school students. Although every student has his own personality, the common point is that they are eager to learn the new technology to create their own products. In the future, I think I can make some videos about computer programming and then upload it on YouTube, so students can recognize more about computing and related technology. Next, I believe I changed my personality from conservative to outspoken after this service learning activity. Before the service, I was not willing to talk to others, but the secondary school students are nice and responsive. They gave me more confidence to talk to others. Finally, as a financial technology student, I hope I can connect my service experience to my professional life. Nowadays, secondary school students learn the stock market in mathematics or economics, but they may not have enough money to buy the stock in the real market. Therefore, I wish I can build a Hang Seng Index simulator for them as a learning kit to help them to do more real practice in the real world, rather than only reciting the concept on their book. This is the end of my sharing. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Christy, and I would like to reflect on this service learning experience. So I think that in this experience, it really changed my view towards the secondary school students, because at first I thought that they would be very noisy and naughty in the class, but it turns out that they are very obedient and they would stop talking whenever we asked them to stop. And they were very active in the activities too. They would like to discuss with each other about the products and would like to complete our tasks given to them. And so that I was really impressed and inspired by their activeness in this service, because I am personally a very shy person, and I would not speak up to the professor or to other students when there are group discussions. So after this experience, I think I would speak up more, because when more opinions is given out, the final product formed will be much better, and I think I would raise more questions whenever I have difficulties to learn better in the future. And also I think as a part-time tutor, this service helps me a lot to understand more about the secondary school students. I think my communication skills gets better because I get to spend more time with the students in 2 days and get to know about them.
Hi, I'm Eva. Through this service learning program, I have learned to be more persistent when dealing with challenges. Actually, I'm a person who will give up easily when I face difficulties. Take my guitar learning experience as an example. After I have learned guitar for several lessons, I found that my fingers are not flexible enough to hit the right string. Therefore, I gave up learning guitar. This program has changed my attitude when I face difficulties. To be honest, I'm not good at STEM, and I think the concepts are very difficult to understand, especially for programming. But in this subject, I have to learn using Arduino and the programming software to make a lighting and an automatic sprinkler system. More importantly, I have to fully understand the process so that I can teach the secondary students in face-to-face lessons. Therefore, I tried my very best to learn the Arduino and programming software through online simulation websites for many times. At the beginning, I want to give up, and it is very difficult for me. Luckily, with the help of my teammates, I successfully created those systems by trial and error. It gives me a great sense of satisfaction. In this experience, I've learned that I can actually overcome the challenges when I keep trying and finding different solutions. Therefore, I will not give up easily, and I will try my best to overcome any challenges that I will face in the future. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Anna from the major Applied Biology with Biotechnology. Here are two important points that I learned during this service which make me understand myself more. Firstly, I discovered that I enjoy the process of teaching. I feel quite amused when I was preparing the online teaching materials because I found that I would like to share interesting knowledge to others. The students are willing to answer my questions and answer them correctly during the Zoom sessions, which bring me strong sense of accomplishment. This experience inspires me to join some volunteer teaching in the future. After this service learning, I'm more confident when teaching others. Maybe I will teach them in the future because I would like to spread my knowledge to the student. Secondly, I become more cautious and think more from others' perspective. After finishing my PowerPoint, I asked my younger sister who did not study science to see if she was able to understand what I had taught. Of course, my first attempt isn't too perfect, so I keep improving the contents with more details. Therefore, I learned that it is essential to think in a more careful way to explain my thoughts. Usually, I assume others to understand something that I think is so obvious. For example, in my paper, my teacher said that I do not link my point to the reference I used so well. As a result, my grade was not so satisfactory. This teaching experience trained me to be a more logical and considerable person compared to the past. It can facilitate my future study as I definitely can learn better if I always think of giving more detailed explanation of what I speak. To conclude, this precious experience does help me to explore my interests and is beneficial to my study.
During the service, I learned how to teach others my professional knowledge. The best way to prove that I have mastered a skill is to make others also understand the concept. As an engineering student, I don't have many chances to try teaching. Fortunately, I could try teaching others in the service. And the result is quite success. The student can adopt what I'm taught into their project. Also, it inspired me a new way to make the progress of project more smoothly. Something I'm encountering in the service is that only few of my groupmates are engineering based. I try to teach them how to use the Arduino board, and so that they can assist students in the class. It's turned out that it can improve the progress of teaching and reduce my work. In the future, when I'm working as a team, some of the team members may also do not have many knowledge about engineering, and I'm realized that I can teach them the concept to achieving the project goal in the faster way. In addition, after I taught secondary students, I find that teaching is quite interesting. It may be some annoying if the students are not concentrated in class. However, if they're familiar with the skill I taught and they can apply into real life, I will feel good as a teacher. It may influence my future career as I may want to be a teacher later. In short, this service is meaningful to me and inspire my future. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Candy and I'm from Team SFXSB. From this STEM workshop, I have a chance to learn STEM concept and some knowledge of the technology, which I can't learn from my major, civil engineering. I have learned some simple programming concepts through learning how to use the Arduino. Before I learned anything about programming, I thought programming was a very difficult professional subject. After playing Arduino, I found that programming is not as hard as I thought. This gave me a courage to learn more about programming in the future. During this service, I also become more considerable.
I need to take care of others' needs when I'm doing the service. When I'm thinking about the design for elderly, I have to consider what difficulties they will face when they are using our products. When I'm teaching and guiding the student, I have to think of what will attract them so that they will participate in the activity. This requires me to think in other people's position and consider their needs. Last but not least, I have an experience of comprehensive thinking. Besides considering the needs of the product users, we still have other design considerations. For example, we have to think of a solution to solve the water leakage problem of the green wall. As a civil engineer, I also have to foresee my problems of my structural design, which is actually very similar to the product design. Through this workshop, I gain an experience of comprehensive thinking, and I become more cautious in foreseeing the future problem.